Good afternoon. Yeah.
Good
Good afternoon
afternoon, sir.
to everyone. In the first 15-20 minutes, I'll be taking about managing the services demand and the capacity. Then I'll come back and discuss about how this managing demand and capacity is done in the sports marketing area in India. So the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes will be of theoretical concepts. Then we'll get into the practical aspects of the managing the demand and capacity in the sports domain in India. Okay, let us start the first one. What are the objectives of this session? Once you study the module, you'll be able to understand what are the demand patterns exist in the services marketing, and how do you evaluate the demand, and what are the tools and techniques used to measure the capacity and the demand, and what are the queuing theories or waiting line strategies, and how they will be used in the services demand analysis. Let us understand what are the capacity constraints and the demand patterns in the services market. As I discussed in the previous session about role of a non-monetary cost in the pricing strategies, I discussed about the time as a one cost, search as another cost. The time, labor, equipment, and facilities act as the capacity constraints in the services marketing. Say, for example, time. If somebody want to watch IPL final live, is not possible. If the time is passed out, so he will not get it back. The second constraint that we come across is the labor. Today, laborers are in acute shortage, particularly skilled laborers are in acute shortages. So, therefore, hotel industries are struggling. They are managing with a less number of laborers. They are closing early because of labor issues. In the services marketing, equipment is another one. We have seen many club cricketers are not able to make it to the Ranji or international cricket due to non-availability of facilities, good sports stadiums, or maybe a good cricket kit. So they were not able to make it to the international arena. So therefore, we have a constraints of the time, labor, equipment, and the facilities. How do we use that? Is an issue. Optimal versus the maximal use of the capacity. Optimal use is I have to manage the time, the labor, the equipment, and the facilities. So I have to balance all this and get maximum profit from the existing resources. That's what we talk about optimal usage of the resources. But we also have a maximum usage of the capacity. So you look at, during the Dasara and Deepavali, many retail stores work extended hours. Even the demand which started at 8 o'clock in the morning closed at 10 o'clock in the evening. So they have augmented the capacity to give better services to the consumers. Many services marketing, particularly in the real estate sector, the people start coming to the job at 8 o'clock and they go at 6 o'clock in the evening. Sometimes they work little more also, up to 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock also. One side, the labor is not having so much of work in the real estate due to the lockdowns. Other side, the service providers, real estate companies, engineers and architects, they are extracting the more work. So therefore, there is a need for balancing optimal versus the maximum use of the capacities. How do I make the demand patterns when there are capacity constraints are there? Say a small Darshini is there, there's suddenly 20-30 people going to Goa enter into Darshini. How they will do it? Or you look at the Paratha corners on Friday and Saturday, Sundays, the demand is more. So how do I make arrangements when there's a capacity constraints? So there's an equipment constraints, labor constraints, there may be time constraint. So how do I make demand patterns for them? One is, no, it is always better to chart the demand patterns. The customer will come to know how exactly the services demand is. Say, for example, DMart, they have put a chart in front of their store saying that what is the traffic for the DMart on a particular day at a particular time, so that a customer who comes to the DMart can plan and go for the shopping. To avoid the rush on the weekends, the Big Bazaar has come out with a Wednesday bazaars. To meet the demand on the peak month, opening days, Big Bazaar has started monthly saving bazaars. So they have now charted the demand patterns in the services marketing. Similarly, one has to make the demand patterns. I come back to the paratha corner in the third gate. So they put tables on the roads next to their restaurants. Though they have 2, 3 buildings, most of them are full. So therefore, they know that on a Saturday evenings and Sunday evenings, there will be huge demand for the paratha. So therefore, they put tables on the road. People still come and sit and have their food. So therefore, they have charted the demand. What is the demand pattern? That means on a general day, the demand for the food or clothes or retail services will be moderate, and on a weekend it increases. So you have charted the demand patterns. These demand patterns now may vary. Say, for example, 3 days before, Karnataka state government, Road Transport Corporation, KSRTC employees went on strike without any informations. So they have not given any notice to the public, they have not told to the government, they went on a strike or a band. So now the private players has to meet the demand of ferrying the people from Bangalore to Belgaum or Hubli Dharwad, or taking the Hubli Dharwad Belgaum people to Bangalore. So this onus is on the private transporters, but the number of buses they are having is limited. So now these are the unforeseen events that has come. So therefore now I had to adjust the demand. What they do? Usually when there are a number of holidays comes in tandem, so 3, 4 holidays in regularly there, or a holiday before the Saturday or after the Monday, the demand for such buses have increases. So therefore these players like VRL or Sharma Transport or National Transport or maybe SRS, they inflate the price on these days, and they'll sell their seats. So what they have done, they identify the demand patterns. They know during the Dasara, during the Deepavali, during the 3, 4 holidays that is coming out, the demand for the seats will increase. Therefore, they increase the price on that. Even if you look at the VRL or SRS prices, on weekends the prices are very high, and on general days the prices are less. How they did able to do it? Because they have charted the demand for their seats. Are these predictable? Yes, sometimes are predictable, because we know that people who are coming from Bangalore or people who are coming from Pune and Mumbai on the continuous holidays are very high. Therefore, as a transport manager, you need to predict these cycles. So when there is a demand, so that you can increase the price, people are ready to pay, so you can make more money on that. But there are certain random demand fluctuation that happens. As I told, KSRTC employees went on strike. Suddenly there is a demand for the seats, and some of the transporters which are unknown to the public also charge 2,000 rupees, 2,500 rupees to ferry the people from Bangalore to Belgaum. So this is no random demand fluctuation. They are adjusting the price. Is it available for the demand patterns by the market segments? Yes. See now, during the COVID-19 lockdown days, the passenger, particularly in the airline segment, there are 2 classes, business class and economy classes. The demand for the economy classes have come down because of the fear of the corona. but the business class was as usual. Therefore, the airlines could make some adjustment okay, during the lockdowns. Now we need to adjust what are the different market segment available in the services, and how do I adjust the capacity to that, or no, the demand exists. So it is better to understand the demand patterns by the market segments. What we have to do when the demand is too high and the demand is too low. These are the two basic questions that comes to the services marketer. One, please tell the customer in clear that when there is a high demand or busy days are there. As I told earlier, the demand put a chart saying that we are busy on weekends. Why don't you plan your shop on other days? So customer feels very happy because he knows now the demand is too high on the weekends. Now, offer certain packages. Say, if a customer comes and shop in a big bazaar on Wednesday, they call it as Wednesday bazaar, they get little extra in discounts or the incentives. So therefore, companies can provide or offer incentives to customer for usage, during the non-peak times. But in that case, please remember there are loyal and regular customers too. Even your loyal and regular customers have come little late, others customers have come and thrown your place when the demand is too high. You should keep certain things. I've seen one of the Nandini parlor next to my locality. He gives extra milk for people who buy regularly. Even the demand is very high. Says, sorry sir, this no milk is booked by somebody. There are regular customers. I can't give it to you. So therefore, they are clear in their approaches, saying that when the demand is high, first preference has to be given to the loyal customer or regular customers. Then they will go to the other customers. Then please tell about when will there be a peak usage times and benefits of non-peak usages. Particularly this Amazon and the Flipkart, they say, well, you want to wait till the festival days and rush. So buy now, get same price now. So they can dispatch the product to the warehouses properly. They can reduce the transportation cost. They can fill the customer's request very early. So they are now telling that what is a peak usage time. Don't rush to the last minute. Even if that after all this the demand is very high, service providers are charging very, very high price to the customers. As I told, the transporters are doubling the price during the very high demand. Similarly, you're seeing the lockdown days, the grocery shops have minted the money by increasing the price like anything. So therefore, when the demand is too high, you can charge full price and no discounts at all. So that is how you manage when there is a demand is too high. But there may be a case when the demand may be low. Say, look at theaters are open, but the customers are not ready to get into the theaters due to the fear of corona, and also used the over-the-counter segment or OTT segment or the top segment. They are now used to Airtel Extreme, Hotstar. They don't want to get into the theaters. That's the time you need to tell the people that, look, the theater experience is different and the mobile experience is different. In a mobile, you can see alone. In a theater, you can go with the friends and enjoy the movie and come back. For that, there is a responsibility on the service provider to communicate their offerings to the customer either through newspaper advertisements or through the television advertisement or through the local advertisements. So meet those market segment and tell that what exactly you are. Then you need to, if the demand is very, very low, you need to tweak the model. Okay, that means you need to segment. If you are operating in a luxury segment and the segment is coming out with the demand is for the lower end. You cannot go on selling that I'm a luxury retailer. The VIP bag showroom on the Kirloskar Road, they also keep the umbrellas outside. They also keep the raincoats outside on a rainy day to meet the general customer who wish to see the raincoat for 100 rupees or a 200 rupees or 500 rupees. So the expensive, raincoats are sold inside. The cheaper raincoats are sold outside. So what they have done, they have modified the services. Then when there is a demand is low, you need to offer the discounts and give the price reductions. Yes, now you can go for 10% discount or 5% reduction in the prices. So offer the discounts and the prices that is there. You need to modify the hours of operations. Look at when the demand is low, you cannot go on asking for the 3 shift or 2 shift. So you can reduce the number of shift, maybe 1 or 2 shift, that is okay. When the Dakshina was changing their places from the college road to the third gate, they operated with a single shift and a very less number of doctors. So they were taking only the OPDs and they're not taking about other patients. So therefore, they have modified the hours of operations when there is a demand is low. Try to get the services to the customer doorstep. It may attract the customer and he may avail the services. So start giving the door-to-door delivery services. When the Big Bazaar has come, Reliance Fresh has started, Reliance Mart has started under the RPD circle. Many of the grocery stores started offering door-to-door delivery because the demand has become less to them. So you need to change your services strategies. Is it possible for us to flex the capacity? That means, can I increase the capacity? What I have to do when the demand is very high? One is I can increase the time. Say if I'm working from morning 10 o'clock to evening 8 o'clock and the demand is very high. I've seen many small restaurants and grocery stores open up to 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, open at 5 o'clock in the morning during the lockdown because the demand for the groceries have increased so much, they have increased the time. When the demand is very high, particularly in the restaurants, when the demand is very high, they ask the labor to come in. I've seen the many tailor shops asking other tailors to come and join when during the Deepavali and the Dasara, particularly Aradhana, Adarsh and Amar Khan, they are asking for the extra tailors to come and stitch their clothes, at least cut their design so that the regular tailors can stitch their clothes. So the demand is very high. The labors were taken or loaned or requested to come and work on their facilities. If the demand is very high, can you think about opening the facilities? If the demand is like Domino's was very high in Belgium initially, they started another facility at RPD because the demand has increased. If the demand is low, they have to close the facility. Cafe Coffee Day was in RPD circle earlier. They have closed it. They have concentrated only at the college road now. So that's the difference you have to make in the services marketing. For that purpose, you need to cross-train the employees. Look at the bank employees. When the paying fees come, students stand in the queue. Though you are only for the agriculture loans or a field officer, but they train you to handle the cash also. Why? When there is a surge in the demand, when people stand in the queue, you can take the cash also. That means a field officer can become a cashier on a particular day. Therefore, you need to train the employees on cross functions and the skills. Amazon does another one when peak day, particularly on Dasara and Deepavali, they ask the college students to become interns or apprentice. And also they go for a small contract agreement with the joinees saying that your job is there only for the 6 months, you'll be paid during this festival period. So what the strategy Amazon or Flipkart does is they hire the part-time employees. So you cannot flex the facility overnight. Therefore, what you do, you not take the part-time employees and get the work done. You can also think about renting sharing the facilities. So you know that the demand is very high. You want to open a one more showroom overnight is not possible. You can start a small outlet near to the places, or you can start a one more restaurant or one more hospitals. Kelly started doing that. I know when the 100-bed hospital is not enough, and the OPDs they are doctors cannot take at JNMC, they started opening a two more polyclinic, one near the Bogarwe Circle, another inside the Anamchayan Gully. They started two polyclinic and so that they can share the facilities, so meet the customer demands. You can also share the equipments. When there is a demand, look at we also okay, classrooms. We have extra classroom in MBA department. We give it to the architecture department. So when the demand is very high, we also take the others classroom now. So that's where the sharing of equipment has come. If the demand is very high, you need to finish the project very fast. Then you have to go for the subcontracting or outsourcing the activities. This particularly happens on road building. National Highway Authority of India, they are very now particular on completion of the project on time. At that juncture, what they are doing, they are asking a particular contractor to finish the contract on a particular day. They are not extending the time, and they're not extending the amount also nowadays due to the stricter norms by the central government. So these engineers who got the approval from the central government, they are now subcontracting. Say you got a permission from Kolhapur to Belgaum to build NH4 there. So you give us a contract from Kolhapur to Nipani to somebody, Nipani to Sankeshwar to someone, Sankeshwar to Hattargi someone, Hattargi to Belgaum someone. So you are giving subcontracting and try to finish the work on time. So the main engineer or the company which got the license to build this road, they are subcontracting their work because the demand for the completion of the service is very, very high. In a reverse way, the demand for the services is very low. I need to look at the renovations. Is it required for the maintenance and the renovations? During the Vegas take it out helmet manufacturing, when the demand was low during the COVID-19 days, they have renovated the buildings. So many services, hotels, like opposite to Kelly, there was a hotel. I don't know how many of you knew that there is a hotel called Virat. This Virat was a very small hotel. During this period, they are renovated, and yesterday I have seen the hotel has come up with very beautifully now. So what they have done when the demand is low, they went for the maintenance and the renovations. For that, another strategy they are doing is the schedule the vacation for the employees, give the training to the employees on all these days when there is demand is less. There's one more strategies the people are adopting, when the demand is low, that's lay off the employees. Many IT companies have done this. ACUS is doing in Belgaum now. They are now lay off the employees who are not productive, who are on a contract basis. So what I have to do in the nature of the demand related to the supply. Look at the two dimensions that I'm having here. Extent of the demand fluctuations over the time, extent to which the supply is constrained. If the extent of the demand fluctuation given over time is wide and narrow, and the extent to which the supply is constrained is peak demand can usually be met without a major delay. Peak demand regularly exceeds the capacity, what we have to do. So look at the electricity wide, yes, demand fluctuations over the time is very high. They are met without a delay. Now Indian government is very clear. They use hydropower, they use thermal power, so they use nuclear power, they use biogases, other energy. They are generating the electricity to meet the demand of the electricity by both the corporate world and also the consumer world. And the natural gas is one, the uninterrupted supply is given even in the Iran-US crisis was there. Therefore, building the reservoirs and giving the services on the contingency is very, very necessary for the services marketers. The telephone services is, you have seen Airtel or Jio or Vodafone Ideas. They have given uninterrupted supply, services here. Then if you are into the maternity unit of hospital, hospital should be open because demand may fluctuate very fast. Suddenly you get a 2 3 people coming to the hospital. You should have a facility to manage such contingencies. Other one is police and the fire emergencies. Therefore, the police have built something called uh, KSRP, Karnataka State Reserve Polices, and the central government have developed the National Disaster Relief Force, NDRF. They have come. So when there is a contingency by to the police, when there is a contingency for the floods, either the KSRP or the NDRF get into the action, solve the problems. So when the demand fluctuations over the time is wide, and the peak demand can be met without a major delay, these are the options one has to use. Fluctuations over time is narrow, but the demand for the particular service is without a delay. Insurance. If you are not giving the insurance, customer will go to the another insurance. If the online insurance is coming to the picture, they are very now clear. If you don't give it today, they will go to someone else. The legal services also. There are many lawyers who do not have work today. The customer is now knowing that even if I don't get with this lawyer, I can go to some other lawyer and get the work done. Banking also, now there are a lot of options available to the customer. He can go to for the RTGS, he can go for the ATM, net banking, app-based banking, online banking, in bitcoins. So lots of ways one can do the business on the banking. So that's where narrow delay is there. Laundry and dry cleaning, no, the customer cannot wait because they go in a hurry and try to complete the work. If the peak demand is actually exceeds the capacity, what I have to do? Then try to hire the people. For example, demand for the tax returns are very high in the July month. Therefore, CA interns, CAs, they do all this for customers and give it back. Passenger transportation, they increase the number of buses, hotels, and open the extra seats. Restaurants extended the hours. Theaters, they charge more and get the benefits. Services similar to those in the two. Okay, in this there's a narrow fluctuation and the demand exceeds the capacity. That means insurance, legal services, banking, laundry, and dry cleaning, similar services are done here. But one, here insufficient capacity is added and the basis of the level of business the customer is in. So these are the strategies, nature demand relative to the supplies. What are the constraints to the capacity? As already discussed, time. Okay, example, legal. Okay, to run the case and win the case within the time. Consulting, customer is having the problem, you have to solve it right now. Accounting, before the accounting quarter or a period, you have to complete the services. Medical, when the customer is having the problem, you have to solve the problem. These are the constraints. Labor, the law firms do not get a proper laborers. Accounting firm do not get a skilled laborers in India. Consulting firms lack of good management consultants. Health clinic do not lack doctors, nurses in abundance number. So there are constraints on the capacity. Equipment, you have utilities, health clubs, telecommunication, delivery services, they have a problems here. Today, Flipkart, Amazon receives lots of order, but because of the due to the less number of delivery boys, the delivery is done morning, afternoon, evening, still they take some delivery for the next days. The facilities, hotels, restaurants, hospitals, airlines, schools, theaters, and churches, they have to adjust their facilities looking at the demands. Therefore, I need to understand what are the waiting line issues and strategies. Waiting customers are waiting in a queue. There are a lot of issues that has come up. One now, look at the behavior of the customers here. When there is unoccupied time, the customer feels longer. If you stand in the queue and the queue is not moving, you become frustrated. That you express in front of the others. So that's where what I have to do, reduce the number of time, the customer waiting time. So there are many people who are clever. They ask the other people in the company to come and join and take the cash, take the orders, or they ask the next the shop owners to come and help them. So unoccupied time feels longer to the customer. Then pre-process waits feels longer. If a customer tells that fill 2 pages online on the application, count, send resume and come back and meet us, You feel that why should I fill the two-page resume on the online? So pre-process makes the customer feel longer. Apart from this, it's the fear, the anxiety the customer is having makes even a simple services very difficult to them. Therefore, uncertain waits seems longer than finite waits. You should not be having any uncontingency or contingency waits to the customer because customer never expected and he feels that it is longer to them. And if you don't give unexplained, anything they do, as I told KSRTC one few days before, unexplained, customers were frustrated because they never planned for the water, food, stay on the bus stand. They were struggling the other day. So this is what happens, unexplained waits seems longer. Then there are unfair waits, feels longer. Okay, you want to buy simple cracker, you go and stand in the Sardar Patel ground. But the customer is giving, or someone, the company owner is giving order to someone who is very close to them, or he keeps talking to the person who knows them. You feel that why he is talking to others when I am wanting the product and I'm a customer. He is a general person to whom he is talking. So what you are feeling is you feel that there is unfair wait. So you feel frustrated. Therefore, longer waits are more acceptable for the valuable services. So if wait, you have a good services to be done. Say for example, you want paint to be done. You went for the Asian paint. It says after 2 days, a person will come and paint your house. So you will wait for 2 days because you wanted a valuable services from the Asian paint. Standing alone and waiting for something, sitting alone and waiting for something, always you feel it's longer. So you need to adjust these waiting lines strategies. Okay, this is the demand and capacity things that we are having. Any questions here?